In today's session, I am going to introduce a concept called bins, guys. What is that? Bins. So bins is nothing but like specific categorization of some measures. Okay. Yeah. Anyhow, I have a notes with that. Look at this, guys. What is that? Bins. Okay. So basically, these bins are nothing but where the measures will be converted into a discrete points. Discrete points in the sense we might have already gone through. We have already gone through, right? This discrete points we can convert into, which means these bins we can set into portions like 1,000 values, something like that. We can split the measurable values. Okay, something like this. But anyhow, let me show you practically right away so that you will have a basic idea. Okay, here we go. And guys, one more thing, these bins will be applicable only to measures, not to dimension or not to date functions and all. It is applicable to only dimensions, guys. Okay, so don't forget that. Sorry, it is applicable to only measures. Okay, so don't forget that. This is very important point. Okay, because few of them they will convey that we can convert it to dimensions also. No, we will do it only for measures. Okay. Anyhow, I'll show you practically so that I will have a clear picture. Okay. Look at this, guys. So we have what? If you select, now look at this. You have a measure here. Okay, for example, you have what? Sales. So imagine that sale is a measure. Not imagine. So this is sale is a measure, right? Now look at this. Select, right click. Guys, what is this? Create. What is this? Bins. What is that? Bins. Now look at this. Just let me hit on this bin. Okay, what is happening here? Look at this. Sales bin. Fine. Now look at this. The size of a bins, I'll give it as, let's say, 5,000, or I'll give it as 3,000. Okay. Right, guys? I'll give it as 3,000. You're getting my point? Now, you can give it as depends upon the nature of your data. You can give 10,000 or 15,000 or 20,000, whatever it is. Okay. Just hit on OK. Fine. Now look at this. What happened? If you observe clearly, look at this. An icon with this symbol. This is what? Histogram. Okay. What is that? Histogram symbol has been appeared. Okay. So now, guys, look at the difference. Okay. The sales bin has been created. Now, if you drag and place into your rows, what happened? Look at this. 0K, 3K, 6K, 9K, 10K. Because I have given a range of what? Did you remember this? If you have given what? Edit. Where I have given size is 3,000. Okay. Right. Now, you can take a help of a tool also. Okay. So suggest on bin size. So by default, as per the nature of a data, the tool itself is suggesting size of a bin. Okay. Okay, so as I said, you can take a suggestion of the tool also. Just if you hit on this suggest on bin size, it will give you based upon the nature of a data. Now look at this. Click OK. See again what happened? Look at the differences. 500, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, something like that. Okay. And do you want to edit this? Again, look at this histograph symbol, guys. That is icon. Now again, go to edit. Okay. There you see, let's say I need for every 1,000. Up to you. Look at this. 0K, 10K, 20K, 30K, 2K, 3K, 4K to 13K based upon your nature of your data. Fine. Right. Now, do you want to change the format? If yes, you can. Just play. You can play around with this. Okay. Font and all. Everything. It's up to you. Okay. Now look at this. Number. I don't want 1K. I need to have standard. Yes. Then look at this. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, something like that. So how it is being reflected? Because in a bin level, I have given the naming convention of the size should be 1,000. Okay, so that is the reason. Now, okay, that is one approach. Now what you can do now? Let me take a combination of some, let's say, subcategory. Now look at this, subcategory or category. Now look at this. So I have chosen a bin value here. Fine. Now look at this category. So what is happening here? Look at this. Now, if you want, you can do a this one. See, okay, these are all the values. So we have in between. Okay, this is the stuff. Now, or else we can do one thing. Let me take it in this way. This is the best I feel. Now look at this. Okay, just put it in a text level. Now look at this. Okay, or else you can also do one thing. Take a subcategory. Look at this. So this is the range it is giving here. Okay, I mean in between 0, these are all the values. In between 2000, these are all the values are fall in place. Between 12,000, these are all the values are fall in place. Likewise. Okay, guys, this is what bin, where you can have combo of multiple objects also. Look at this. In between this combination, so these are all the values are fall in place. Something like that. Okay. This is what. Right, guys. So in this way, you can use this bin functionality in order to categorize your measures into some specific sizes, some specific portions. That is what called as bin. Right, guys. So this is one way to achieve this bin functionalities. Okay, where, as I told you, where you can have multiple combo of multiple different objects also. Let's say segment, and you want to have a ship date. See, everything it can be classified into various portions like this. Okay, that is one thing. Right, guys. Right, that is one thing. And now, guys, have you ever observed this here? Do you see what? Histogram. Look at this. On the show me button, you have histogram. Okay, let me show you this. Okay. Now what is this? Histogram. Why it is being disabled? Because it requires what? This histogram graph requires one measure. Okay. So for this, what is the, what is the rule? Look at the rule. Create a bin field. So to define a histogram graph, what we need? We need what, guys? Tell me, please. To define a histogram, what you need?
One measure.
Yeah, we need measure, and before that we need bin size. Bin. Okay. So without having this bin measure on a measure, you cannot define this histogram graph. Okay. That is the reason on that day deliberately I haven't touched this histogram concept. Okay. Okay, guys. So fine. Now look at this. So let me show you how we can create a bin. Now let's say, imagine that I already have a bin. Now place it here. Okay. You can choose either ways. Okay. Now let's say do you have a dimension or whatever? Okay. Look at this. In between 0K, these are all the values. With 1K, 2K, 13K, only the copper's value. Look at the value differences, isn't it? Likewise. Okay, guys. Right? Look at this. Look at the portions. Okay, now you can use whatever you want. Okay, likewise. This is the way, guys. Okay, this is the way we can define this histogram functionality. Okay, see, look at this. It's quite simple. Where you are splitting your measure into some specific boxes with respect to your values. This is what called bin functionality. And keep in mind, these functionalities are recommended. I mean, so this bin sizing is only on top of a measure, but you cannot define on a dimension. Look at this. You don't have an option at all for the dimension. You have only for the measures, that particular options. right? So don't forget that, guys, which is very, very important, because sometimes your customers might ask you this kind of a requirements. So that is the reason. This is an example for the bins. Guys, are we good with this? Bins. We used to call it as size bins. Okay, whatever it is. Okay, by looking at this, you can understand this. Okay, look at this icon. By looking at this, you will come to know. Okay, now how to change the cycle of this? Simple. Select, go to format. See here, you have 1K, right? The number. I don't want. I would like to have a standard format. See, this is the way. Okay, so in this way we can deal with this. We can change the format and all. Okay, right, guys? Yeah, just try to play around with this, guys. You will have a clear picture again, but you have to do some kind of a practice on top of it. Okay. Okay, so this is the way to deal with the this bins. And if you want to change these numbers again, instead of instead of 1000, let's say I would like to have 800 or 5000, something like that, or 2000. Now you have to go to edit. There you can change. You can change the specific values. For example, for every 1500, I would like to have this. Okay, see 1500. Okay, something like that. Okay, but recommendedly, sometimes you can take a help of a tool also. Look at this. You go to edit, right? Suggest on bin size. Based upon the nature of a data which is availability, it is being taking up minimum value, maximum value, and the differences and continued values automatically. So accordingly, it is giving you the results. Okay, likewise. So depends, purely depends upon your need basis, guys. Need basis. Okay, so that's how it works. Right, guys. So any questions with this bin sizing? Try to have a practice. So these bins are exclusively helpful to deal with the what? Histogram graph. Okay, fine. Right, guys. Now the another important topic that I am going to discuss is hierarchies. These are, guys, hierarchies. Okay, so hierarchy in the sense, what do you mean? Hierarchy is nothing but an organized structure of a data, guys. Hierarchy is nothing but an organized structure of a data which is exclusively helpful for multi-dimensional analysis. Okay, which is exclusively helpful for multi-dimensional analysis, or you can also call it as three-dimensional analysis. Most of the time we used to call it as multi-dimensional analysis. Okay, or else in a reporting point of view, we can call it as drilling functionalities. Drilling in the sense like drill down, drill up, drill by, something like that. Okay, so to define those functionalities, we used to define this hierarchy. Okay, so now look at this. For example, you might have aware of it. What is time hierarchy? Time hierarchy in the sense like you have year, quarter, month, week, date. This is what the hierarchy, isn't it? An organized structure of a data. 1 year is a mixture of 4 quarters, and each and every quarter is a mixture of 3 months, and each and every month is a mixture of 4 weeks, and each and every week is a dates of 7 days, isn't it? Like that. So now, with the help of these hierarchies, you can drill down from top to bottom, and again from bottom to top. So that is what drill down and drill up. And again, you have a continent hierarchy here. Let's say, what is the top level data? Country is the top level data, and next to that you have different states. And in states also you have different regions, and within region you have different cities, like that. So what are we trying to do here? With the help of this hierarchy, okay, with the help of this hierarchy, okay, we are digging the various levels of a data. This is what, with the help of this hierarchy, right, we can achieve the high granularity of a data. Granularity in the sense the various levels of a data. So that is absolutely possible via this hierarchies. Okay, so keep in mind, guys, one more thing. These hierarchies are recommended to define, okay, are recommended to define only on dimensions. Guys, can you give me a second, please? Okay, that's fine. Yeah, not an issue. Okay, yeah. So these hierarchies can define only on dimensions. Okay, only on dimensions, but not on measures. It is highly impossible. Defining a hierarchy on measure is highly impossible. But the moment you are changing the elements of these elements, the measures will keep on change. But anyhow, I'm going to show you right away, guys, right away how this functionality will work. Okay, and keep in mind, guys, in a traditional tools, okay, like business objects or Cognos or MicroStrategy or whatever it is, okay, defining these hierarchies bit tedious process. Okay, yes, definitely it is bit tedious process, because these hierarchies we used to define it in a metadata layer, and again we have to replicate in a report, and again we have to use those functionalities like that. That is what traditional tools. But in advanced tools, you can define these hierarchies within a very short span of time. Within a fraction of seconds, you can define these hierarchies. But what is the logic behind it? We should have that structured data should be available in your source level. If you don't have such kind of a organized data in your source level, how do you expect? Is it possible? Absolutely no. So that is the reason your source also should have that kind of a data which is supportive for the hierarchies. Okay, that is the rule. But definitely most of the organizations, definitely we will have such kind of an organized data, guys. Okay. Okay. Right. Now, let me show you right away how this hierarchy functionalities will work out. Okay. Here we go, guys. Okay. Now, here let's take, I'm taking what? Order date, something like order date. Okay. And something like I have some measure here. Okay. Right. Now look at this guy. This is what? Year, which is nothing but high level data. I told you, right? Top level data. Year is what? Top level data. Now, what is the next level data? Quarter. Now look at this. The moment I expand this plus symbol, you see this quarter. Look at this. So in specific years, how many quarters you have? This one. Now look at this. Look at the totals, guys. See, don't you think this is what your measure? Sum of profit is what measure, right? So now look at this. In 2011, as a overall 471, 2012 4422, 2013 2612, 2014 15 727, right? Now the moment I jump into the next level, into the quarter level, now look at this. What will happen? See, these measures are keep on changing. Now look at this. If you mix 124, 209, 79 and 559, this is equals to 471. Okay, if you mix together 751, 2295, 1104, 174, this is what equals to 4462, likewise, isn't it? So that is the reason we no need to apply a hierarchy on measure. So basically we used to apply hierarchy on dimension. So obviously differ. Okay, now look at this. See, isn't it, guys? Now look at this. Again, now look at this, month wise. See, now look at this. In quarter one, how much you got it? 124. But if you go to month wise, look at this. For single quarter, how many months we have? 3 months. Now look at this. 15 plus 113 minus 5, which is equals to 124. Likewise. So this is the way, guys. Now look at the data, how it is splitting on each other. Right. Now, if you want, even you can have, some elements like this, category wise, how it is being calculated. Okay. See, now look at this. Okay. Yeah. It's absolutely, you know what, guys? This is very, very beautiful application. I mean, utility in terms of, right, guys. So now, if you want, you can have it. Look at this, graphs. Okay, year wise. Now look at this technology in Q1, 2004, Q1, Q2, okay, Q3, and again Q4. Likewise, you can have various representations of a data again on top of it. Okay, see, look at this. See again. Okay, this is what plain chart. Okay, see how useful it is, isn't it? Now look at this. In 2011, Q1, these are all the values. Q2, these are all the values. Q3, okay, and again Q4, and again 2012. Okay, like that. Look at this, guys. How beautiful it is. And so you can represent it in a different ways of data. Okay, so this is the beauty behind the hierarchies. Now, okay, so this is what, guys. Very, very useful. Okay, fine. Now you can ask me a question. You tell me, how are we going to define this hierarchies? Of course, we are using something which is customized one. Now, how I can create a hierarchy? Very simple. You know what, guys? Very simple. Here we go. First, you should make sure that, okay, you have to make sure that the corresponding elements should not comes under one folder or one table. So now what I can do, now look at this. Let's say I have a category. Now look at this. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to duplicate this. Now look at this. So this category has been created. Okay, fine. Now again, so whatever the elements that I need for the hierarchy, now look at this. I'm duplicating it. Fine. Now look at this. Category, subcategory copies. And again, let's say I would like to have region also. Example. Fine. Just an example, guys. Okay. Now, so what is the thumb rule here? The elements which you want to do a hierarchy, it should not comes under one table or one folder, whatever it is. Okay, because each and every folder is treated as a, okay, look at this. Each and every folder is treated as what? One hierarchy. So that is the reason. Fine. Now look at this. Simple. Now look at this. Select. Okay. What you can do, simple. What is the top level data category? Now the next level data is what? Subcategory. Now just look at it. Just drag and drop. Look at this plus symbol. The moment I turn into this one, see, create hierarchy. What is the top level data? Category. Okay, now look at this. If you want, you can create your own name. Let's say, for example, okay. Look at this, Ganesh. What happened? Look at this. Look at this symbol. Hierarchy symbol has been populated here. Now, into this, you can add anything else, whatever you want. Now look at this. So, okay. Now, so you can play around with this. Now look at this. Now what am I going to do? Simple. Just drag and drop this Ganesh. Okay, now look at this. What is the top level data? Category. Next is what? Subcategory. Next is what? Region. Something like this. Again, now look at this. Now for this, let's say I would like to add some measure. Now look at this. You have it here. Now, the moment I expand a category, subcategory. So basically, furniture is what? 59219, but which is a mixture of these subcategories. If I club together, this particular value 59219 will come in picture. Okay, like that. Now look at this subcategory. Now look at this. Again, region wise. See. Okay, like this. So this is what, guys. So in this way, you can define. Okay, you can define what? Now look at this. You can expand this. This is the way. Right. Yeah.
Ganesh, does Tableau supports unbalanced hierarchy? Say here, actually hierarchy is category, subcategory, and region.
Yes.
So for some of the records, I don't have value for subcategory. So
Yes,
in that
it
case,
supports. Aman,
yeah,
definitely it supports. It is having that intelligence. Okay, the tool is having their own intelligence in order to, in case if you have any blank values, okay, all those will be considered as a part of the intelligence of the tool. So that will be taken care automatically. So you don't need to perform any additional steps for that.
okay. And one more question. So here we are drilling down and drilling up. So I want to drill across from one dimension to other dimension. Is it possible?
So you are trying to compare with, this one, right? With your regular traditional tool. Am I right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, in similar to traditional tools, yeah, we have this facility. Like, say, I'm comparing some regional values along with the employees. So, like that, like a drill across one dimension to other dimension, same measures.
Yeah. This is what you are talking about. This is what one hierarchy I have it here, right? Now let me add one more hierarchy. That is what, let's order this. Okay. Now look at this. So how many you have? Two hierarchies. The moment I expand, okay, now look at this. Now immediately from EF2, I would like to jump back to again subcategory. See. Right? But don't compare exactly whatever the feature you have in a traditional tool. Don't compare it exactly. But what I can say is, yes, definitely in a single report you can use multiple hierarchies. You can easily swap in between See, some category 2 again, I'm going at a quarter level. Now look at this. That is absolutely possible.
Okay.
Is it answer your question, Aman?
Yeah, somehow. Yeah, Ganesh.
Okay, but yes, but comparative to the traditional tools, it could be something different because the nature of the tool itself is different, right? So that is the reason. But if you ask me in a simple question, yes, that is possible. Okay, in a simple way, I can say yes, it is possible with the following approach of where we can use multiple hierarchies. So if that is the case, now look at this. The moment I am changing here, it is impacting with respect to elements also. So that is the reason. It is absolutely technically feasible, I can say. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, Ganesh. Yeah. And for a time dimension, Ganesh, we no need to specify any hierarchy, right? Automatically, it has that intelligence
Yes,
to
agree
create
with you.
hierarchy.
Yes, that is what default hierarchy.
Okay. And Ganesh, if you just so right click on the time dimension, actually you will see two set of hierarchies.
Sorry, where is
So
that?
yeah, just right click on year date. Just add yeah, year order date. Yeah, just right click on year order date. Just right click. See here actually we can see two set of years. See first 2015 and one more set is year, quarter, month, day. Once again we have a year, quarter, month. So exactly what is the difference between these two sets?
See, here, I mean, at this moment, it is showing you the current value, whatever we have. Okay, the current value. Now, if I want to jump back to, see, directly you can, as you said, right, drill across or whatever it is. That functionality can be achievable here. Either ways, you can use this one. But here, it is giving month-wise. Okay, but here, it is giving respect to the order date-wise, it is taking the month values. Okay, now look at this. For example, if I go ahead with this approach, right, it is giving order date. That is fine. But if I go ahead with this year it never differs. Now look at this. The graphics keep on changing automatically. So this is helpful to represent your dashboard with different notations. That is one thing. Second thing is, now look at this. If I go ahead with this, it is considering only the quarter 2. Okay. Quarter 2. But here, if you go ahead with this approach, quarter 2 starts from which month onwards?
Okay.
Right. So those details will be captured here. Start month, end month, something like that. Now look at this. Week number. Now look at this. It is starting from week 5. Month, May month onward. Something like that. But here, month is May. That is fine. But how about the year? That is falling from the parent folder. I mean, it's a parent hierarchy. So that is what. Okay. By looking at the difference, look at the dates, how it is showing it here. That is what the difference you can identify it. Okay.
Okay. And what I noticed here, one more thing, Ganesh. So the color will be changing for the measure. So I think the continuous and discrete will come into the picture here. Because if you select first, is it correct?
Yes. That will be taken care. The tool is taking that intelligence. We no need to exclusively define that. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Ganesh.
No problem, sir. Yeah. Guys, every one of you, are we good with these hierarchies? Every one of you.
Excuse me, Ganesh. Harish here.
Yes, Harish, please.
This hierarchy is nothing but the multi-dimensional structure. I mean, creating multi-dimensional analysis. Is it?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
That is what I mentioned, right, at the initial session itself. I mentioned with the topic called multi-dimensional. Yes, absolutely. Whatever you said is absolutely right. But coming to the perspectives of what I can say is Tableau perspectives, right? The few of the users, they'll call it as 3-dimensional, but definitely we can say multi-dimensional. Okay.
Okay. Thanks, Ganesh.
No problem, sir. Yes, guys. Now I'm going to introduce very interesting topic called copy to clipboard. Okay. This feature you might not see it in a traditional tools. I'm pretty sure about it. Okay. As far as business objects, as far as Cognos, as far as MicroStrategy, I can say that this tool is not, I mean, this feature is not available, and you cannot achieve it very easily also. Okay. Yeah, anyhow, let's see it right away. Okay. So copy to clipboard. So for this, right guys, so what am I going to do is, for example, let me take this one, guys. Okay, yeah. See guys, some election commission of India, where they would not see what are the trends and results. Okay, so this is what I have, isn't it? Now look at this. So now I have a fresh sheet here. Now what am I trying to do, Now I would like to capture all these results. Now look at it, simple. Guys, look at this. I'm just selecting. Okay, just selecting. You can do Control C if you want. Now come down here. Okay, what I did, Control C and Control V. Now look at this, which means whatever the data I have it in some third-party tool, I mean, it's in some web application. Okay, look at this. Whatever you have, so that has been copied into your this one automatically. Look at this. Look at the party name, leading, total, and won. Okay, if you want, you can change these elements. Okay, so this, how is that possible? Later on, right? If you want, you can have this graph or whatever you want. You can do this. Okay, look at this. Okay, so this is the way. You can change it in this way also. Fine. This is what a concept of copy to clipboard. Now you know what, guys? How this is happened? Because Tableau is having one intelligence, having concept called Microsoft Jet Engine database. What is that? Microsoft Jet Engine database. With the help of that intelligence of a Tableau, this you can able to achieve it easily. Okay, you can able to achieve this very easily. Now if you observe here, look at the data source. Now the data source is what? Clipboard, some specific date followed by, look at this, some coding. I mean to say that extension, look at that extension. Extension in the sense, I mean to say the correct today's date, okay, plus T090807, that is being taken care by your Microsoft Jet Engine database. Okay, now this data source, right? If you want to save this data source into your Excel, I mean, do you want to save this data source? Yes, absolutely possible. Now look at this, select. Okay, select, and what is that? What is this, guys? Add to saved data sources. What is that? Add to saved data sources. Now look at this. The moment I hit, look at this. What is the extension, guys? .tds. .tds is what? Tableau data source extension. Okay, so don't forget that. What is that? .tds. Now look at this. The moment I'm trying to save it, see, it is automatically saving into, look at this, under Tableau data sources automatically. Okay, so here you have to look at the, this hierarchical structure. Okay, I mean to say this is automatically saving under my Tableau repository. Okay, under data sources. So what is that? That is what? Tableau data source, TDS. Okay, fine. Now let's save it. Okay, so what happened? Has been saved. Fine. Now look at this. Let me show you that. Okay. Yeah. What is this? Clipboard, isn't it, guys? Okay. Do you want to edit this with a notepad? See, this automatic script has been generated automatically. Okay. This is script. Okay. You can say. Okay. Look at this. Party, won, leading. Okay. So all those things will fall in automatically. Okay. So that's what, guys. Okay. Okay. Now, do you want to play anything additionally on top of it? Yes. Let's say in terms of colors or whatever. Okay. See, something like this. You can play around with this, guys. Okay. Let's say, one about sizing. See, look at this. Okay, plenty of stuff you can play around with this. Okay, okay, yes guys. So this is the way. Look at this again. Okay, yeah, this is what guys. Look at this again. Okay, so in this way you can represent it in a various outputs also again. Right guys, this is what a concept of clipboard, copy to clipboard. Right guys, are we clear with this example? Any questions? Any questions? Please, any questions please? Every one of you, are we good so far? Prasad, Harish, Giri, Bhargavi, Aman, Radhika, Ramakrishna, are we good so far?
Yes, Ganesh. I'm good.
Okay, sir. Cool. Okay. Now let me move on to dashboard development. So far, what we have gone through, guys? So far, we have gone through worksheet development, isn't it? We have gone through about worksheet development. That's it, isn't it? Now, I'm going to touch base with dashboard development. Look at this. This is the icon for your worksheet. Look at the icon, and this is the icon for dashboard. Okay. Now look at this. For example, let's say Tableau dashboard. Okay, example. See, you know what, guys? Dashboard is nothing but, okay, I mean, from the Tableau perspective, I'm saying, it is a mixture of different worksheets called as dashboards. Okay, and you know what, guys? In a single dashboard, it is recommended to have in between 6 to 8 worksheets in a single dashboard. Okay, but of course, if you want, you can generate n number of dashboards. But sometimes, few of the users, because of some customization, they might ask you to place some 10 to 15 worksheets also. But you can explain them. Hey boss, it is recommended practice, but if you want, we can fit in them. But it may lead to some kind of a confusion for you. Likewise, we have to educate them. Okay, so yeah, so 6 to 8 worksheets are recommended. And now look at this, guys. So simple, guys. You know what? Simply you need to just right click. Okay, add to dashboard, or else you can do one thing, simply just drag and drop. See, okay, now again, see, okay, in this way, like tree map, okay, bar chart, you have plenty of stuff like this. Now again, I have heat map. Okay, see, look at this. Okay, something like that. And again, let's say I have scatter plot. Okay, see, look at this scatter plot. Okay, and again, let's say I would like to have a bullet graph. What happened? So this is what? Did you observe this? Vertical containers, horizontal containers. Okay, we have that concept as well. See, you have to fit in this way. Look at this. Look at this. Automatically, everything will be populated. Whatever you have at a sheet level, that will be populated automatically. Okay, and again, look at this. Right, guys? Now, if you go to this, what is this? Slide symbol, presentation mode, click F7. So everything you will see it in a single shot, like this. Okay. Now this is what. Now do you want to apply a filter on top of it? See, select, right click. Okay. Remove container. So I don't want this remove container. Like container removers, all those things. Okay. Now look at this. Floating values. Again. So plenty of stuff can be done here, guys. Okay. Now, do you want to see the data? Yeah, you can see the data here also. I mean, plain data, you can see that as well. Okay. Trend lines. What is this trend line? Anyhow, the trend lines will touch base. Or else you can also practice from your end. Okay. Now look at this. If you want, you can create a sets here also. Okay. See, likewise. Okay. This is what a dashboard, guys. Okay. Now, in a dashboard level, we have different portions like, like horizontal and vertical. So look at this, vertical dashboard, horizontal dashboard. How you want to represent it, vertical or dashboard, something like this. Okay, and we have a containers in the sense these portions, these blocks. Like we have horizontal container and then vertical container. We have such kind of stuff again. Now, can we import any image? Look at this. Very simple. See, yeah, you can import your own images also. Okay, so plenty of stuff you can achieve here guys. Okay, so with these images you can place it. Okay, so plenty of stuff you can able to deal with here. Okay, and yeah, so this is it guys. So this is what. So you can play around with the text files. Okay, you can write it down. Let's say something like this. Okay, see, W, you have it here. Okay, and you can do the edit texting, and look at this. Should be in bold. Okay, and the font size should be 16. The color should be something like this. Just play around with this guys. Look at this. Okay, okay, like that. And again, you have blank values. Web page. Do you want to include any, some kind of a URLs? Let's say example. Okay. Okay. So here it is being included. Okay. Now look at this. Look at this Google search option. Alignment is very, very important, guys. Moreover, okay, let me remove this. Okay, now look at this. Okay, now look at this. The Google page has been inserted here. So directly you can play it. See, look at the beauty, guys. See, now I have this W desktop. Likewise, you can play around here. Okay, see, you can play around here. Likewise, right, guys. So this is what an image, web page. Likewise, you can play around with this. Okay, and do you want to add any titles, floating values, plenty of stuff you can play around. Okay, so this is what, guys. Just you need to work around with this. That's it. It's very, very self-explanatory. Okay. Yeah. Oh, guys, I have a meeting at 9:30. I thought to close the session at 9. Okay. Okay, guys. So any questions, guys, please? But anyhow. Yeah, so I have given a basic information about the dashboard development. So try to play around with these guys, please. Okay. Yeah. Any other questions, please?
Ganesh?
Yeah.
Actually, what you have created is just create dashboard. Automatically, everything comes into picture.
Automatically, it won't, right? See, dashboard is a mixture of your different worksheets. So as per your need basis, all the worksheets, whatever you have it here, right? I'm going to place it. Okay.
I mean, if we don't want, we can just close it, right?
Sorry?
And if we don't want everything, we can just close that particular thing, right? It's not.
If you don't want this one, select right click. Okay, remove from dashboard.
Okay.
Whatever it is being in a tick mark, only those you will be indicating that yes, it is being used. So it doesn't mean that everything, whatever you have worksheet should be used. Okay, it doesn't mean. Okay, but as per your requirement basis, we are going to place all the required worksheets. But recommendedly, we are supposed to place 6 to 8 worksheets, guys. That is the recommended practice in a single dashboard. Likewise, and you can have multiple dashboards. It doesn't mean that you will have to develop only one dashboard. No. See, one dashboard might have 5 worksheets, and another dashboard might have 8 worksheets. Depends. It depends purely on need basis. Is that answer your question, Bhargavi?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, guys. Thank you. Thanks for your time.